All right, let's go to the East region then. We have Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Garbage Fire versus the Lost Garbage Fire, Jurassic Park. So, I mean, we have the two garbage fires.
Yeah.
I don't know. So the Lost World, Jurassic Park ranked number 9, and number 8, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I have to say, when I was putting this list together, I was amazed that the Crystal Skull made that much money. I would not have put it in the top 10.
Well, a lot of people went to see it when it came out because it was Indy coming back, you know?
Yeah.
Big deal.
Yeah. So, well, how do we vote with this one?
You're gonna be on film though. Huh. It's a ghost.
It's a ghost.
So I was telling Sean before we started, Lost World is one of the only ones I didn't, that and Saving Private Ryan are, I think, the only two I didn't rewatch in the span of the last 2 months, kind of, or whatever it's been since we decided we were going to do this. So it's not as fresh in my head, but I can't really remember many, if any, really good qualities from it. Like, it really is just a very forgettable film for me. Whereas Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, I saw in theaters when it came out in, when was it, 2008, I think?
2008, yeah.
I saw it then, and I can just remember leaving the theater and being like, wow, that was really bad. And for the last 12 years or 11 years, whatever it's been since, you know, everyone has collectively shit on that movie, me included.
Yeah.
I don't take anything away from anybody shitting on that movie, but rewatching it, that I did rewatch recently, while I also rewatched some of the other Indiana Jones movies, there are more good parts in it than I remembered. There are still plenty of these terrible, bad parts, and there's some of it that's just really shitty. But the good parts are really, really good, and it is, in a lot of ways, for me at least, it was fun to watch. And to see Harrison Ford at that age playing that character and still playing him as well as he ever did, but, you know, obviously differently because of his age and everything. And you can just tell Harrison Ford loves that role and has so much fun doing it. And yeah, Shia LaBeouf was probably miscast, and you could get into that. But rewatching it, again, like I said, I stand by all of the things, all the issues you could take with it, but it was more fun than I remembered. And as bad as it is, it was still enjoyable to be able to see Indy doing his thing again.
I was one of the people that went to the theater to see it because I was super excited to see it. And my memory of it was of just a complete and utter garbage fire. So when I rewatched it, I was like, all right, let me watch again. Like all of these movies, I tried to just like detach myself from fandom and just kind of analytically break it down and see like, all right, what's good, what's working, what isn't working, all that stuff. And for the first, God, it's got to be like 45 minutes. It's a good movie. Mm-hmm. Like that whole intro scene when he's in the school with the Russians and the atomic bomb and all that. Is it, you know, him surviving in the fridge? Is that garbage? Yeah, but like we established, it's almost like they picked that up from Temple of Doom. Let's just do something really stupid, and it'll just people will like it because it's Indiana Jones. But that movie, for the most part, was a fun movie, a good movie, all the way up until they got to South America. That's when it went off the rails. Yeah. And the only other incongruous, I guess, I don't know if that's the right word, which is bad part of the movie to me, was his British partner, Mac. Like none of that just didn't work. There was like no chemistry there. I don't know who they got. I don't even know who the actor is, but it was just like, he was so over the top. It was just like, it was just, he was like, all right, mate, we're going to do it like this, right? Oh, Andy, come on, let's have another drink here. Let's do it. It was like, oh,
he's very famous in England. That's Ray Winston. He's very famous in England for being a tough guy. Plays a tough guy.
Okay.
Like, I know him. I've never met Ray Winston. He came to see me in a show once, but I never met him personally. But I've met a bunch of his family, and I know a lot of mutual people. He's from the same area as me, mate. He lives in Essex.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But he He was in a lot of movies back in like the 70s, these big violent movies. He was in the most famous movie, other than he was in The Departed, which he does the worst accent that
He
is.
was?
He plays a henchman. He plays one of the henchmen, and he goes to like he like breaks Leo's arm or whatever. He's like pins him down on the snooker table.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he does this crazy Boston accent. He's like, "I'm from Boston, mate." It's
No, you're not. You're from Essex, fucker.
He was in a movie called Sexy Beast, which is a really good movie.
Okay.
Ben Kingsley's in it, and it was a British independent movie, but it was it was a big indie movie even over here. But he's excellent in that. But he plays an Essex gangster type. But
Okay.
a lot of older movies from the 70s, like Quadrophenia and like all this Nil by Mouth, and a lot of these.
Right. Oh, he was in Quadrophenia? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was his first movie actually. He played like
Okay.
a 17-year-old, like kind of like biker. But he was awful in this movie. He was
Terrible.
I don't like. They're obviously trying to be like, we're trying to replace
Salah.
Martin, and we're trying to replace Salah. All in what? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it made no sense.
No, none of it did.
It was so stupid. I hated. He actually ruined the opening like 25 minutes for me. Anyone other than Ray Winston, I'd probably agree with you and say the opening was all right. I did not like the opening. I love Indiana Jones more than anything. I tried to rewatch it the other night as the one thing I was like, if there's anything I'm going to half watch, I'll try and watch it. I actually stopped it. By the time I got to South America, I stopped watching because I love it.
No, it's not worth watching after South America.
I can't do it. I couldn't do it. I'm like, I just hate this movie.
Terrible. Shia LaBeouf figuring out how to swing on fucking vines like Tarzan by watching a bunch of little gibbons. And meanwhile, he's a guy who fixes fucking motorcycles. It was just like, what the holy fuck is going on right here? It was
good,
just so
it makes
stupid.
it worse. It makes it so much worse as Shia LaBeouf has come around. He's a really good actor now. Like,
he's a fantastic actor. And in the beginning, he wasn't bad. He was believable as just this like greaser guy, you know. But then
I've always liked Shia LaBeouf, and I will fight for him in the fact that I think he's a good actor. I just don't think he was right for that role in that movie, and maybe it comes down to that was just a badly written role. I don't know. I don't think he was right for that role, but I like Shia LaBeouf a lot.
Everything was just so badly done. It was the desperation was just palpable.
Yeah,
because they tried to shoehorn Karen Allen in that. They threw John Hurt in there for some reason. It was just all of it was bad. I mean, what a disservice to what's her face. Why can't I think of her now? And she's a lovely actress. The bad Russian lady, Kate Blanchett.
Oh, Kate Blanchett, yeah.
Yeah, it was just like, really, this is what it's like. Oh, what a waste of talent. It was just so bad.
I mean, I think the true villain of this movie and why it's so shit is written all over it. It's the last big movie, probably the last movie there was a shitty movie did, but the last certainly big movie that George Lucas wrote the story. He didn't write the screenplay, but he wrote the story.
Yeah.
And this is a post-prequel Star Wars movie. This is after Phantom Menace, all that garbage. No one believed in George Lucas anymore. No one wanted to do his story. They wanted to do one of the many stories they already had for Indiana Jones from way before. They had the script, The Fate of Atlantis, that they were going to do in like the mid-90s. It didn't work out. And they were going to do a whole bunch of others that they had planned from other, novels and comics. So much that they could go for. But George Lucas was like, no, I've got this story. And Spielberg said, like, from the off, he was like, I made this bargain with George way back when in the 70s, and when we both made each other famous, that, like, I took a chance on this movie. Like, no one believed in it. And, like, I did it off the back of Jaws, Raiders, and he was like, I'm choosing this. No one wanted me to do that movie. It blew up. And I was like, and I always said, I will always come back to this. I will direct your movies for you because of...
Yeah.
And no one wanted him to do it, but Spielberg was like, no, I'm not doing it unless I'm doing George's story. And we're like, what the fuck? It makes no sense. Every other Indian movie is religious. At the end of the day, it's about God. It's about the existential. It's about God. Everything is about God. And
Yep.
then this movie is about fucking aliens. It's like, what the hell?
It's just so, like I said, and quite frankly, there's zero excuse in 2008 for this movie to be made. At this point, Spielberg owns a studio. He's worth over $1 billion himself. In fact, I think he's worth 11 billion. You know, Lucas is worth. Did he already sell Lucasfilm to Disney at this
he
point?
hadn't sold yet. No.
Okay, but still, Lucasfilm Limited was like, if anybody was doing special effects, they were going through them. He was making money. He was printing his own money. There was like, it's not like a bank would have said, no, we're not giving you money for this movie. Stop.
Wait, that brings up one point I got to throw it out there. The visual effects in this movie were trash. All the CGI was absolute trash.
Garbage.
Gopher groundhog thing in the beginning is worse than anything in Jurassic Park.
Completely.
Yeah.
The whole movie, the VFX in Jurassic Park across the board are 10 times better than the VFX.
No. Everything that makes Indiana Jones good was bad in this movie. Literally everything. So then, who do we pick then? Jurassic Park, the Lost Garbage Fire, or Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Garbage Fire? Because The Lost World was so bad when I rewatched it. Because in the first Jurassic Park, Jeff Goldblum says he had several kids and at least 3 wives. And then he had a black daughter that I guess he adopted somewhere along the way. No other kids are mentioned. And it was just about like the best part is they decide to transport the T-Rex from the island to the mainland. And the boat comes ramming through the pier in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
And they go to see what happened. And they find the captain's arm dangling on the big steering wheel of the boat. And I'm like, how did the T-Rex get in there if he's in a giant cage in the hold in the middle of the boat? And the T-Rex is, 30 feet tall. How did he fit in the little cabin to bite the captain in half? Again, it was that Spielberg thing. It's like, don't worry about that. That makes too much sense. No one's going to think about that. Let's just sell the tickets and off we go. This, to me, is I'm disgusted either one we pick.
Not as bad as Jurassic Park 3. Jurassic Park 3 is an awful movie. Like,
I think this is Jurassic Park 3. No?
Huh? No.
Isn't this Jurassic Park 3?
No, it's 2.
Okay.
3 wasn't directed by Spielberg, though.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. But 3 had Sam Neill back.
I would have to, I'd have to vote for Indy for this one, just because, again, like, they're both bad in many ways. But at least, and maybe it's because I didn't rewatch Jurassic Park 2. But I saw it a couple years ago. I've seen it pretty recently. I don't remember really any redeeming quality or enjoying it at all. Whereas Indy, and maybe it's because I went back to it with such low expectations, but like I said before, all of the bad things are terrible, but I still had some fun watching it. And I can't remember having really any fun watching The Lost World Jurassic Park. So
considering all the actors in The Lost World, it's, again, amazing. Because, I mean, you had Jeff Goldblum, you had Julianne Moore, you had Richard Attenborough was in it too. It's like all these big name actors that I can't think of their names now, but Vince Vaughn was in it.
Right.
The guy from The West Wing, he was one of the advisors on The West Wing. Really good actor. He's a great character actor. So many great actors were just in this film, and it was just dreck. It was just bad.
All I remember, I liked it as a kid. Again, I was a kid. I liked the movie, and it was world building. So I can say Indiana Jones and Christmas Go shit because I have 3 good indie movies.
Right.
I Lost World because I got to live in that universe again, and I'm like, wow, okay, just give me more time with the dinosaurs. The only thing I remember from that movie that stuck, because I didn't rewatch it, is it was a good set piece of when they were with the glass in like the van trapped over the ravine. Like I like that with like the glasses breaking, and he's like, and he's trying to get her, and I like that. I was like, oh, that's a good.
Yeah. Oh no. Again, the mood building is there. Getting the suspense and just getting like the fear. Like I said, he's masterful at it. He will sacrifice the story for the mood.
Oh, the flying dinosaurs. That was different. The pterodactyls. They didn't have that in Jurassic Park. That was what's different.
No, that was in the third one, I think. Yeah.
Oh, they didn't have it in the second one. They didn't have pterodactyls.
No, I don't think so.
They definitely had them in the third. I can't remember if they were in the
third. Yeah, I don't think they had it in the second.
I'm getting confused then. Yeah.
It might have been in
the
second.
So we have a vote for Kingdom of the Garbage Fire and Sean.
I want to vote for Lost World because I just hate Crystal Skull so much, but it probably is a better movie, even though I don't want to. So I guess I'll vote for Crystal Skull, even though I really don't want to.
Like I said, I'm hating either choice. I'm going to go with Crystal Skull, so it's uniform here, because I think they were equally abhorrent, both of them.
Yeah.
All right.
Although I would say with Jurassic Park, like I'm not sick of the world that, you know, I'm more apprehensive about Indy 5 than I am about Jurassic
Park. I'm so not looking forward to Indy 5.
Wait, Sean, if you had voted for Jurassic Park or Lost World, and Tomo, you had to do the tiebreaker, would you still have gone with Temple of Doom? Or, sorry, with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull?
I probably would have, yeah. Because, like I said, up until South America, I thought that was a good movie. Jurassic Park, The Lost World, it was never a good movie. There was, like, nothing... I mean, like, there are a couple of mood-building scenes that were fun. But other than that, it just... Yeah. All right. All right, so the next movie we have is... number 13, Catch Me If You Can, versus number 4, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Well, Catch Me If You Can. Shout out to Catch Me If You Can, because it's a fun movie. But we all know
it's a fun movie. It's a fun movie, especially because it's based on a true story.
Yeah. And Tom Hanks and Leo are a lot of fun together.
Yeah. Leo was very good in this movie.
Yeah. And I think this is a cool example of how versatile Spielberg is. Because this is unlike, you know, you look at you look at Saving Private Ryan, Indiana Jones, Jaws, and then something like this. Like, this is a completely different movie. And a lot of his movies, he's not really in any sort of box of like one type of movie like a lot of directors are. So that's pretty cool. Right. I mean, I think it's obvious who we're going to vote for on this one, but
yeah.
It feels a lot more like a Scorsese movie. I think maybe it's because of all the movies he's done with DiCaprio since. 20 years from now, I bet more people would think it was a Scorsese movie than a Spielberg movie.
Probably.
Like, it feels like it. It feels kind of like it. You know, and also because Wolf of Wall Street, I mean, that movie, he wouldn't have got that if it wasn't for Catch Me If You Can. I feel like
it's a little too light for Scorsese, though. There'd be a few more.
It's a little bit light for Scorsese.
I see what you mean. Yeah,
it's a little bit light for Scorsese. I agree, but in terms of like the period, that's right up his alley. Late 60s, early 70s. Big cars, cute chicks.
Yeah, he did.
Does he narrate?
That was that.
Sorry.
What happened?
I was just saying he had a run of movies around that time, Scorsese, that weren't typical Scorsese, because he did kind of The Aviator. He did, what was it? He did a couple of movies that were a bit like, they weren't as
Scorsese-ish.
Yeah, a little bit.
It was the one he did with Liam Neeson and Adam Driver and Andrew Garfield. What was that?
That was recent. That was real recent. That came out like 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
It's a tough movie to watch.
Yeah. But in Catch Me If You Can, doesn't Tom Hanks or Leo, one of them, don't they narrate for some part of the movie? Because that is very Scorsese.
He was very Goodfellas-y, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think Leo does all the narrating in the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was very that was the Wolf of Wall Street element for it. It was very much.
I know.
And then I did this, and you can't believe I got away with doing this, and like,
yeah.
And then Raiders of the Lost Ark, like we've said from before, this is a genre-defying movie. Everybody, I mean, I saw the movie in the theaters. everybody loved it. Like parents would go home, get their kids. And my wife's father came home. He saw it because he was on a business trip. He came home and said, "Kids, we got to go see this movie," and grabbed all his kids and took them to the movie. I mean, this was just one of those. This harkened back to the days of the Tarzan movies, to the cowboy Western movies, where everybody enjoyed this just adventure flick, and it was just amazing. And this was it. If there was anything that was going to knock Star Wars down off its pedestal, it was this movie.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's an easy vote over Catch Me If You Can. And not because I didn't enjoy Catch Me If You Can. I thought it was a fun movie. Yeah. But to me, it's just an easy vote.
Yeah, it is. And just iconic. Like I said, the idea that you could possibly forget, like Catch Me If You Can is great, but you could forget it was a Spielberg movie, and there are a whole bunch of scenes in it that you could probably confuse with other movies. You were like, oh, was that Wolf of Wall Street? Was that there? Like, there are elements you could certainly but there is no mistaking.
Yeah.
Like, it is so original. Almost everything that came after it took something.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. All right. So Raiders goes on. So Raiders will go against Crystal Garbage Fire. I'm guessing we know which one's going to win there.